Hey guys, so today I am going to be testing out the Moda Prismatic Face Perfecting Set for you. And these brushes are said to be dupes for the artis brushes, but these brushes are very, very soft. They are very dense. This one's a little bit dirty because I did use it because I've already done my makeup. But they're very soft. I believe this retails at Walmart for $16.94, which is relatively cheap because you get 4 brushes, so it's what, like $4 per brush, a little over $4 per brush. So in this video I'm going to be giving you my first impressions and a little demo using each of the brushes, and at the end I'll give you my final thoughts about the set as a whole. So yeah, if you want to see that, just keep watching. Hi guys. Okay, so we're going to start applying our foundation first. Now I did use my Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm to prime my skin, and I'm going to be using the 801 brush to apply my foundation. I usually don't apply my foundation with a brush, so this is kind of new for me. I've also never tried the foundation that I'm going to be using with a brush. So, alright, let's get into what the packaging claims for this product. So it says the 801 brush. Use this large brush for all over cream, liquid, or foundation application. Move the brush in one fluid motion all over your face to apply and blend. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I did mix the Rimmel London Lasting Finish foundation with my Manic Panic foundation, the Dream Tone White one, just to lighten the shade up so it matches me a little bit better. So usually when I apply this foundation, or foundation in general, I kind of patch it all over my face first and then I blend it in, so that's what I'm just going to do right now. And if you do see me looking down, I am looking into my little mirror right here, so that's why I'm looking down. And I'm just going to roughly kind of patch this on one section of my face at a time. Alright, I do find that this kind of helps maintain the coverage of the foundation. Alright, so now I am going to take the brush, guys, I'm nervous, and start blending this in on my foundation, just how they said, in like one fluid swipe. Alright, so there is one like layer on the side of my face. I want to say that when I apply it with the sponge, it does give me some more coverage because I can see like my acne coming through a little bit right here. But honestly, I thought I was not going to like how it left the foundation looking on my skin, because sometimes I just think that a beauty blender makes it look really skin-like, but this looks really good still, minus that it doesn't have as much coverage. So I'm just going to do that to the rest of my face and kind of fast forward through this part for you. Alright, so thoughts on how this applied my foundation. I think it applied it pretty well. I'm actually really, really surprised on how much I like the finish. I do think that it kind of took away a little bit of the coverage that this foundation gives, and I do think that it was a little bit hard to blend, like on the areas of my nose right here, like on my nostrils, or like right here, just because it's so big. But I do have like 3 other brushes that I could use for that, so it's not really a huge deal breaker for me, but so far so good. I really, really like the way this applied my foundation. It was kind of fast. I don't know. I feel like it took me about the same amount of time it would with the sponge. One thing I did notice though is that you really want to follow the directions when they say do it in one sweeping motion, because I found when I did it in like little motions, like product got like built up like where I would stop. So you want to do it in one fluid motion so it can blend out like everywhere. So now on to concealer. Now I am going to use the little tiny like baby concealer brush to apply my peach corrector under my eyes, but I am going to blend it in with my damp Real Techniques sponge, because I think that this just gives the best possible finish under my eyes. Alright, so I have my Brightening Peach Correcting Concentrate from Pixi here, and it's just a little like jar corrector. It has a really nice peachy tone for under eye circles. So I am just going to take this and I'm just gonna dip it in here a little bit. Honestly, usually I use my finger for this, so I don't really know how this is gonna go. but we're gonna try it. So I'm just going to apply that to my under eyes. I try to keep it in like the innermost part, like right here. Alright, my corrector is on, and I'm just going to apply my Maybelline Butter Skin over top of that and on any blemishes on my faces. But I am going to blend this out with my Real Technique sponge. Alright, so my overall thoughts on this brush are that it did an okay job, like applying my corrector right in my under eyes, but honestly I think my finger does a fine job, and I think this brush is kind of unnecessary. Now it could be better for like contouring your nose or something like that, but I don't really like to contour my nose. So for me, I'm not really sure what this little brush will serve, like what its purpose will be, but I will keep trying it for things. But it does apply, you know, like pot concealers okay or something like that. I didn't really try to blend it out because I do like to do that with my damp sponge, but I mean it worked okay. It wasn't terrible. Alright, so I did just kind of lightly set my under eyes and the rest of my face as I normally would, and now I'm going to move on to contour. And to do this, I'm going to be using the number 803 brush, and according to the box, this brush creates a flawlessly blended contour under your cheekbones, along your jawline, or at the hairline. So I am going to use this brush to contour, and I'm going to use my little e.l.f. contour kit for this. And I am just going to take this nice cool tone shade. I'm gonna dip my brush in it a little bit, swirl it around. I picked up a lot of product. Tap off a lot of the excess. Just tap it on my hand to make sure I don't have too much product on there, and I'm just going to contour how I normally would. Oh, that created quite the line. Oh, okay, so I'm going to wipe off the remaining product onto my hand and see if I can blend that contour out a little bit. I feel like it's kind of picking up some of my foundation as I'm blending. Alright, so I did get that blended out. It took a little bit of work, but it did give me a nice contour line. I think in the future I would just grab a bigger, fluffier brush. I think this might be great for cream contouring, but I don't really love it for powder contouring. I'm just going to do that on the other side though real fast. I feel like this one is really harsh. Like it stops very abruptly. I don't know. I don't really love this brush for contouring. I think it might be great for like getting those hard to reach places for your foundation, like around your nose or right here, but I don't love it for powder contouring. I think it just deposits too much product too heavily. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to blush and bronzer, and to do that I'm going to be using the 802 brush, and according to the box it creates it is ideal for brush or bronzer application for a stunning glow. So I am going to use this for my blush and for my bronzer. I'm really nervous because of how the last brush kind of behaved with my contour, so wish me luck. Alright, so for my bronzer, I am going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And I'm just going to kind of swirl my brush in there like I normally would. Oh guys, that picked up a lot of product. Okay, tap off the excess. Okay. Alright, let's... oh, I'm so scared. Alright, let's try this. That's actually not too bad. I like my bronzer to be a little bit more diffused, but it's really not bad. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna do my forehead. that's really not bad. I actually really kind of like that on my forehead. Yeah, look how bronzy my forehead looks right there. That's harder for me to get with like a fluffier a bronzer brush, but I'm really kind of digging it. I don't know if I love the cheek bronze, but we'll try to the other side, see if it works better there. Okay, I actually kind of like it much better on this side. I feel like this brush gives you a lot of control with your bronzer, a lot more than like a big fluffy brushes, but the trade-off with that is you don't get as much of a diffused effect. And let's also get the jawline. I'm not even going to try to bronze my neck with this because I would be here for like 10 days. Alright guys, I really actually like this for bronzer. I don't think that it's the fastest method to apply bronzer, but I do think that it gave me a lot of control and it gave my skin a really nice like bronzy glow. So I'm really happy with that for bronzer. Alright, so now onto blush. I'm going to be using my Kat Von D Shade and Light Blush in the shade Samson and Delilah. And I'm going to try to play it a little bit safe, and I'm just going to be focusing on the lighter shade. So I am just going to dip my brush in there, swirl it around. Some product. I want to get it more evenly distributed on the brush. You can see it's pretty evenly distributed. Tap off the excess. Okay, this one I am kind of scared for. I don't really want to have clown cheeks. Alright guys, so my camera did cut out, and I don't know how much of the last clip that you got, but I did just apply the Kat Von D Shade and Light Blush and Samson and Delilah. I applied the lighter shade on my cheeks on this side, and I did find that this applied a very, like, with a very heavy hand, and I tried to like tap off my brush. Maybe I applied a little bit too heavy-handedly, so I am going to do the other cheek on camera as well. I did take the bigger brush that we used earlier for our foundation, and I did blend it out, and I actually like the way that it looks blended out. So I am just going to apply blush to the other cheek. I'm going to try to go a little bit lighter handed this time. See how that works. Tap off all the excess. I still have quite a bit on my brush. I'm just going to stamp it onto my hand, and I'm just going to go in. Alright, I feel like that was a little bit better, but I still want to grab the bigger brush and blend it out a little bit. Not too shabby. I feel like it took away some of my foundation though. Blend in the little smile lines. But overall, I don't know guys, I'm really not really liking this brush for blush, but I did really like it for bronzer because it gave me a very controlled application. But for blush, I think it's a little bit too controlled. I mean, it does give you a very like full, intense blush, but that's really not the look that I'm going for. I think this also might work really, really well to blend out cream blush, but I don't have any cream blush to try that with. But if you were looking for a cream blush brush, I think this would be a great option. Alright guys, so I just finished up the rest of my makeup, and now I'm going to give you my final thoughts on these brushes. Also, excuse my liner. I know it's a little crazy, but the liner gods were not smiling down on me today. Alright, so first things first, the foundation brush. I really, really like this brush. I was so surprised because usually I don't like my foundation when it's applied with a brush. I just find that it looks kind of streaky and not very natural, but I really, really like the way that this applied my foundation. Now onto the concealer brush. For me, this brush, I don't know, it feels kind of unnecessary, at least in my makeup routine. I think it would be really awesome for like cream contouring on your nose, or like you could even use it to like very targetedly like highlight your nose. I think I might try to use that for this, but for actual concealer, I think this is a pass. Now for the little tiny contour brush, guys, I don't really know how I feel about this. I think it would be really, really awesome for cream contour, but for regular powder contour, I'm gonna say it's a pass. Now onto the blush slash bronzer brush. I really love this for applying my bronzer. I think it gave me a very precise and a very controlled application of my bronzer. but I do not like it for blush. It might work really well for cream blush, but not so much for powder blush. I just found that it applied it very, very heavily, and that wasn't really the look that I was going for. But overall, I do really like this kit. I think it's a really fun way to try out these kind of brushes. And yeah, so I would recommend this because it's fairly cheap. It's only $16.94, I believe, at Walmart. So yeah, this gets a thumbs up from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. Have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and bye. See you guys in my next video.